right. Hello and welcome everyone to New Earth Consciousness. Tanya here. I'm live with Helia Oghani, and we are going to dive into the power of the law of attraction. So welcome, Helia. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Tanya. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited for this conversation.
I am too. You know, there's the law of attraction nowadays. I feel like everybody's heard of it. Probably only maybe somebody that lives in a cave somewhere in Tibet maybe hasn't, but
That's so true.
But not everybody really understands the whole of it. And so, but before we jump into all of that, I would love for you to share your own personal transformation journey with our audience.
Yes, absolutely. I love this topic because, as you said, so many people, majority of people, unless if you're living under the rock, have heard about the law of attraction, but unfortunately, majority of people don't know how it works exactly. And I would love to dive into that and bring more clarity. Well, my name is Helia. I live in Toronto, Canada. And whenever I want to talk about myself, I'm like, what do I talk about? Like I'm a soul living in a human body, and there's personal life, there's spiritual life, there's business life, there's relationships, there's just so much. We are all so multi-dimensional, all of us. But what I'm passionate about, I like to talk about what I'm passionate about. What I'm passionate about is helping people to manifest their dreams. And manifestation has become a buzzword, like the law of attraction, as you said. You can say achieve your goals. It is the same thing to me. And I'm very passionate about helping people understand that when you have a dream, you have a desire, there's something that is on your heart, in your mind. Once in a while it comes and goes, and you're just thinking, what if, I wonder, and you're curious about it. It's absolutely yours. The fact that you can think about something and desire it, it means it's yours. If it was not, the creator, universe, God, whatever you believe in, wouldn't even put that desire in your heart. So I'm really passionate about helping people to realize if you want something, it is absolutely yours. And then helping them to manifest it, to achieve it through the teachings of Bob Proctor, which was my mentor and one of the teachers in the movie The Secret. And he was such a legend. And I've followed so many amazing, great teachers and modalities, mindset, spirituality, Tony Robbins, different people, different spiritual teachers. And again, I come back to Bob's teachings. Every time I go study something new, which I love because I'm very curious, I've always been, and I'm not going to stop learning. Learning and teaching is what I will be doing for the rest of my life. But every time I learn something new, I'm like, okay, this is a beautiful concept, but it's exactly what Bob teaches, maybe using a different terminology, but the same thing. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's what I do. That I'm very passionate about what I do. I'm very focused on my work at this stage of my life. It's all about work and empowering people and helping them to manifest their dreams. And don't settle. Go after what you love.
Mm-hmm. So I'm curious. So when did when did you come across the law of attraction?
I think my first time I really came into the understanding of the law of attraction was through Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks. She's a channeler. I had a really hard time when I'm originally from Iran, moved to Portugal when I was 22, I think, 21 or 22. And I had a really hard time there for many different reasons, my personal life, and also the fact that I didn't have any connections there. I was very lonely. I didn't know the language. I didn't know anybody. And it was just a very weird period of time for a few years. I could not integrate with the culture, with the country. And Abraham Hicks really saved me because I remember I was consumed with her videos on YouTube. She was talking about the law of attraction, getting into the vortex, feeling good, and trying to raise your vibration. That was the first time I heard anything like that. Before that, I had no idea what these are about. And then few years after that, I watched the movie The Secret. Like so many other people, there's a movie, The Secret, and the book by Rhonda Byrne, which is amazing and great first point to getting to know what this law of attraction is about, but definitely not enough.
Mm,
And
interesting.
not, yeah, definitely, there's so much more than 1 hour and a half movie or a book. That's why people read the book and watch the movie, and they try to create a vision board and feel happy, and they can't manifest, and they think this whole thing is just BS, which is not true. The reason why you haven't been able to manifest, because there's just so much more to it than creating a vision board and staring at it and feeling happy.
Okay, so yeah, talk
Yeah.
about that then, because I would think that a lot of people probably did that. They're like, "Oh, okay, I'll just practice affirmations, I'll make my vision board, think positive, feel like it's already there." What's missing?
Yeah.
What do people don't
Oh
know?
my God. Yeah. And that was me. That was me. That was my personal experience for many, many years, and created vision board after vision board every year. And it did not work for me. And it does work for some people because, as Bob says, some people are unconscious competent. So they are
Mm,
doing the right thing, but without knowing what they are doing. And they think it is the vision board that worked for them. It is not the vision board, it's just so much more detailed. So if I want to put it in summary, is that we have a conscious mind and we have a subconscious mind. So consciously, we know what we want. Everybody wants love, everybody wants happiness, everybody wants more money.
mhm,
That's in our conscious mind. Consciously, we know what we want, and we create beautiful pictures, cut them, put them on a vision board, put it on our wall, and say affirmations according to the vision board. But there is another part in our mind which controls 95 to 97% of all of our results. Our whole life is being controlled by subconscious mind. That's science. It's not, I'm not making this up. Scientists have studied and discovered that 95 to 97% of all that we do, all actions we take, all of the results we experience in all areas of our life come from our subconscious mind.
mhm,
So, what is this subconscious? The subconscious is like this supercomputer hard disk that we have been given through through genetics, our genes, our parents, our grandparents, our ancestors, and then the second way through our upbringing and our environment. The moment we are born, even before being born, the 9 months, few months that we are not born yet, everything that's going around us till the age of 7 and 8, and sometimes even later, depending what traumas we experience in life, those also can affect our subconscious even later on in life.
mhm,
But mostly for majority of people, up until the age of 7 and 8, your programming is complete. Everything that you've heard around you, every conversation, every limiting belief that you don't even remember, the most of it we don't remember. You don't remember things that were said around us when we were a few months old, or a year old, 2 years old. But those are the things that went deep into our subconscious. Because we didn't have the conscious mind developed yet, we could not reject ideas. So everything went deep into our subconscious. And those thoughts, beliefs, ideas, the way we think about ourselves, the way we look at the world, who I think I am. How do I think? What do I think about this whole world? Do I think life is hard? Do I feel like life is a struggle? All our ideas about money, all our ideas about relationships in our subconscious, those are the things that are running the show. So it doesn't matter what you put on a vision board consciously and what you repeat to yourself consciously if you don't work on those deep limiting beliefs in your subconscious and if you don't reprogram those limiting beliefs. For example, a lot of people, when it comes to money, a lot of people know when I ask them, they say, yes, I do believe I can double my income. I do believe it's possible. There are other people in my industry, they have done that. But why they are not able to do that? Because it's not your conscious belief that creates, it's your subconscious. What is in their subconscious? A lot of time, something negative about money. It's hard to make money. Money comes and goes. Or money is root of all evil. Or some people think if I have more money, that means having more responsibility, and that means having less time with my loved ones. I don't want that. So on one hand, consciously, we want more money. Subconsciously, we are afraid of having more money. That never works. And to change that, we have to learn how to change the subconscious limiting beliefs.
Yeah. And so how do you change those subconscious beliefs?
So Bob said there's two ways that you can change the subconscious limiting belief. The first way is through an emotional impact. And it's usually a negative emotional impact. Like, have you seen people, there's some amazing speakers in online world on YouTube. I know this guy who doesn't have arms, doesn't have legs. There's another guy who doesn't have an arm. So they went through a horrific accident or something like that, and they completely shifted their subconscious. They completely tapped into their power that was always there, dormant, but they didn't know because they were kind of living a comfortable life. So an emotional impact, which is usually a negative impact, causes people to change dramatically and shift their subconscious. But we don't want that, obviously. That's not a fun way of living. And since we don't have control over that emotional impact, the other way that Bob teaches to change the subconscious is through constant repetition, through coaching and repetition of new ideas, and also integrating those new ideas. And that's what I do. That's what Bob did for 60 years. So it requires coaching, it requires integrating new ideas, understanding what are your limiting beliefs, first of all, because we don't know. We might know some of them, but not all of them, because we all have blind spots, right? I don't know what are my limits. I have a coach. My coach has a coach. Bob had many different mentors. So I really value mentorship, and it's not because that's what I do that I am recommending people. You can choose whoever you want. It can be me, it can be there's so many amazing people out there. But honestly, like, there's so much value in having a mentor, a coach who looks at you from a different lens and can see your blind spots and can help you to, rewrite those limiting beliefs.
Yeah. So I'm hearing that it's either through some kind of major trauma or kind of painful wake-up call that people change.
A wake-up call, that's a good word. Yeah.
Or it's through making the decision, not waiting for the negative experience or the down, or hitting rock bottom, for example.
Yes, that's another way of putting it.
Yeah, so to consciously choose and decide, okay, I want to take hold of my destiny and start doing the inner work, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, that's now with the understanding and experience that I have right now, because I was like many people a few years ago resisting having a coach. Because I think it's because no one has ever taught us. Like, when we were a kid, like, my parents never had a coach. Anyone I knew never had a coach. So it was not a thing. And I always thought, well, I can read books, I can watch YouTube videos, self-help books. And believe me, I've done that for many, many years. But nothing changes as much as and as deep as and as fast as when you get a coach. There's just so much value in that. And when I think about it right now, I'm like, how it's so interesting to think that I can change my own subconscious programming, that I'm so used to it that I don't even recognize it because it's part of me. I've lived with it forever. How do I think I can change that on my own?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It kind of doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. And I would say, like, the difference between reading a book or watching a video and then actually interacting with someone who is a master at their craft, or their expertise. I would say it's because there's an energetic transfer, or like an ignition or an activation that also can happen between two people. So there's, because we're conscious, we're awake, right? Reading a book. I mean, some people do have awakenings through reading a book or receiving new pieces of knowledge, but there really is nothing to compare when you are engaging with another living human being open to receive insight, and especially when you work with somebody that's further down the road than you.
Yeah, and you brought a really good point. What
A
is
life,
that?
a life design team coaching just said, "Amen. Coaching works."
It
Absolutely.
does. It does. And it's necessary. I mean, it is absolutely necessary. And you brought up a very good point that I never thought about it before, but that makes so much sense because there is another um, person when you're working with a coach, there's another consciousness. And it's actually, Bob said, when two people, he talked about masterminding and the power of masterminding with other people. He said, when it comes to two people, 1 + 1 = 11, not two, because there's just so much more power. And when two people get together, these two energy, it seems like that's also in Think and Grow Rich book. He talks about masterminding in one of the chapters, that when two people get together, there is a third energy, there is a third consciousness that is created between these two people. So there is so much more power when working with someone else. And to your point, yes, you can change through books, but it takes much longer than having a human being, someone who has done a little bit more than you and they've walked the path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, this is true. So the other thing I want to ask is, is it possible to overthink this? I feel like there's something that happens when someone wants something so bad that they cling so tightly to it that they literally block that very thing from coming to them.
Yes.
I've noticed in my life, when I'm just dreaming and I'm thinking and I'm like, "Oh, this is what I would love to experience and desire," and I don't overthink it, it happens. But when I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I want this so bad. Okay, I'm just gonna work really hard and I'm gonna, really apply myself," that it almost feels like it's slower, or it doesn't happen as fast, or it's more excruciating. Do you find that to be true?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I love to call it the art of manifestation. It's like an art. It's like a dance between how much do I want to focus on what I want and how much do I want to let it go and be detached. How much do I want to say affirmations and how much do I want to just think about something else and let that thing go. And you're right, absolutely. I have experienced that in my own life. The things that I say, wouldn't it be nice?
Mhm.
Just put it out there in a just like that. Just it will, I wonder, or it would be nice if this happens all the time. Because we are not too attached to the outcome, so we let the energy flow. When we are too attached, we create resistance, we create blocks. We want to control the way that we're going to experience that thing and when we are going to experience it. It's like a beautiful dance between doing practices, manifestation practices, and also letting that thing go.
Mhm.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Yeah, and then I'm curious too, like what did you learn from Bob around as far as like specifics? So let's say, um, I feel like sometimes people can get too narrowed in on what it is that they want to bring in. So let's say they're wanting to attract their soulmate. Okay, well, my soulmate is 6'3". He's got brown hair, green eyes, Italian. He's a lawyer, and he's from Miami. I'm just making it up. Like versus versus, I want to attract my soulmate that makes me feel this way, this way, and this way, and this is what we're experiencing.
Hmm.
And could you speak to that? Is that something that he teaches? Like to focus
Yes,
feeling rather than the specific, like, you know, or
yes,
or or are they both true? Can you do both? I'm curious.
yes. So great question. So the key to manifestation is feeling. If you, so some people, and depends, we are all unique. We are all different in a way that we are wired. So some people, um, and if you are familiar with human design, I learned that a couple of years ago. Some people are specific manifestors. I'm not talking about the generator manifester. I'm talking about some people can specifically manifest. Some people
Mm,
can manifest more in general. So for me, for example, I realized even before understanding human design, based on my experience, if I look back at my life,
mm,
I don't manifest specifically. I can't do that. I manifest a general feeling of the things that I want. And then I leave it up to the universe. Some people, they can manifest to the T, like detail that they want. So it depends what kind of person you are. And
mm,
but the key is the feeling. So if you create a detailed list of who you want to manifest, what exactly you want, but you can't connect to it in on your emotional level, and it feels kind of like a to-do list that, okay, I have done this list, I've created this list, but I can't really emotionally connect with it, and you don't feel it in your whole body, it's not going to work. But for some people, again, based on their human design, they can create and manifest details.
mhm,
But I love to give the universe some room, because we don't know, like the things usually, I'm studying another spiritual practice. They say the things that you want, even the most amazing thing that you want, that you think, wow, it would be amazing if I had that partner or lifestyle, and it's just so out of reach. Universe wants 100 times more than that for you. We are
mm,
so limited in our thinking. We are so limited. We think so small because we look at our past and we think, okay, I lived a certain way. Now, if I want this that I've never had, wow, that's amazing. But the universe is looking at your full potential that you haven't even tapped into yet, because your essence is spirit, it's infinite intelligence. Like we are so much more capable of what we're doing. Like we think small. So
mm,
I love to have a goal, have a vision, have a dream of something that I want to create and manifest, but don't get hung up about the details and leave it up to the universe, because I know that God is going to give me much better things that I can't even think about.
Right. So it's really is just part of it is just taking the next step. So if your desire is feels like it's way on the other side of the mountain, and okay, that's the direction I want to go in. I feel like some people just end up freezing. Like they're just like, oh my gosh, like this thing that I want feels so big. I don't even know where to start, because they immediately going into all the things, like let's just say somebody has a business idea. They have this dream of this business, this type of work they want to kind of free. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I have to have a website, and I have to do, and I have to have my brand, and I have to have my mission statement and my business plan and like all the things. And they just get overwhelmed in all of the things. They get lost. And this is something that's really interesting to me. And I was just listening to this yesterday on a podcast, and this woman was talking about how that as human beings, we're really good at the mental. Like we can think, and we can have all these thoughts and all these ideas, but we haven't fully developed our emotional bodies yet, which is really interesting, or we haven't mastered it. So typically, we tend to experience our emotions as things happening to us, and then we have the reaction, and then we have the emotion. I hear Bob Proctor teach. I dropped a little bit. Did you hear me? Did it drop?
I didn't hear the last part. I don't know if it's my internet or yours. Somewhere.
I have Starlink. So what I was saying is that we haven't mastered our emotional bodies. Our emotional bodies, I feel like we're kind of more passive with our emotional bodies. Like we wait for things to happen, and then we have the emotion. And what we haven't learned, it seems to me, that we can actually utilize our emotions to create the things that we want, which is what you're saying. It's like if you have a vision or something that you're holding, you have to feel in your body in order to attract it to you, even though it's not there yet. So that's a stretch for people, right? That having that cultivating. It seems to me that there is a practice with this, that you have to practice this muscle that we have, which is our emotional body, to be the happy person you want to be the successful person, be the one that has a beautiful marriage, be the one who is an incredible parent. Like you have to cultivate those feelings first, instead of waiting for the proof, right, of it, or of the existence of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you brought up so many great points, Tanya. First, I want to touch on what you said about when people get really overwhelmed when they think about their goal, and they don't know how do I create the website? Where do I go from there? And then they freeze. And unfortunately, so many times I know people that they've been talking about the business idea for over a decade now, and they're still at their 9 to 5, and they're still not happy. So what Bob teaches and what I teach to my clients is you need to have a goal which is absolutely your dream, your desire. First of all, he says, don't settle. Don't go for a goal that you know how to get. That's not a goal. If you know how to get it, that's not a good goal. So first of all, you want to go after your dream. If you set a goal that you know how to get, that's not a goal, because the purpose of the goal is not to get a goal. The purpose of the goal is to become a better version of ourselves in the process of getting a goal. So your goal has to be your dream, your desire, your fantasy that you absolutely love, and it's yours. And you don't know the steps. You're not supposed to know the steps. So he said the how is not up to you, the how is up to the universe. You're not going to know the steps. So think about it. Everything is energy. We live in an energy world. Everything vibrates. We know that it's science. Everything vibrates. If you put anything under the microscope, it vibrates. Hence the law of vibration. And me and you and everybody else, we vibrate on different levels and different frequencies, like radio frequencies, different TV channels, different frequencies, right? So I'm here right now with the level of my life and my relation. Let's get back to the business. Like I am here and I'm working at a 9 to 5 job, and I have a certain income that I'm not happy with, and my goal is here. I have a business idea. I want to open up a bakery, for example, which I absolutely love. And that is my revenue is X amount of money, which is like 10 times more than this that I'm making right now. How this is on this level of vibration, you are here at this level of vibration. How are you going to know the steps to get there while you're here? You're not going to know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's absolutely fine. That's how it works. So what do? The first step is to set a goal and say, I'm going to get there and I'm going to manifest this goal, and do not compromise that. What you said is a date. Like, let's say I want to do this, open this bakery by the end of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And then all you need to know is your next step. Like you're here, you need to know how do I get from level 1 to level 2. That's it. And you don't think about level 3, 4, 5, all the steps all the way to your goal. You only think about your very next step. Every single day you wake up and you ask yourself, what do I need to do today? What can I do today, really, to get one step, 1% closer to my goal? That's it.
Right.
And the day after you wake up, you ask the same question. Next month, you do the same thing. 6 months, you do the same thing. The end of 2025, two things happens. One of these two things might happen. You either reach your goal and you open a bakery, which is amazing, or you don't. So you push it back to the end of 2026. So Bob said, you don't change your goal, don't change your desire, because it's absolutely yours. If you can think it, if you can see it in your head, you can have it in your hand. But the timing is not up to me and you. The timing is up to the universe. Everything requires time. There is a law of the universe called law of gender. When you plant a seed, it takes time for the plant, for the vegetable, for whatever it is to grow. And sometimes it is within few days, sometimes it is within few months. I think it's a bamboo tree that it takes 7 months or something like that to see anything from the ground that you've planted a seed. Everything requires time. Your goals and your desires are spiritual seeds that you are planting in the subconscious mind and the mind of the universal mind. And you need to water it every day, meaning you need to believe in it every day, meaning you need to connect with it, as you said, emotionally. So that brings me to your next point. So first is that you have a goal. You don't need to know all the steps. You only need to know what is the next thing you should do today to get 1% closer to your goal. And then to your other point, we need to feel as if, that's Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard was an amazing author, one of the teachers of Bob Proctor. He got inspired from, not a personal teacher.
Mm.
He talks about feeling the wish already fulfilled. So that requires practice, and that requires mastery. You need to master your emotions. And as you said, Tanya, use your emotions to your advantage. And we need to become a little bit playful, like kids. Kids have fantasies and they close their eyes and they daydream all the time. We've forgotten how to do that, but that's how they manifest everything. That's how they get the bike. That's how they get the ice cream. That's how they get what they want, whatever they want, with ease and flow, because they feel as if it is already done. They
Yeah.
believe in it, they become playful and they connect to that feeling. So the whole key, which requires a lot of practice, is to feel and ask yourself, how would I feel if I already had my goal achieved? And stay in that vibrational frequency, stay in that feeling of fulfillment, excitement, success. It is not necessarily happiness all the time. Some
Mhm.
people think if I'm happy all the time, then I'm going to manifest. If you're happy, but you have scarcity and limiting beliefs about money, you doesn't matter how happy you are, you're not going to create more money.
Mhm.
So emotions are there. We have a lot of different emotions. So ask yourself, how would I feel if I manifested my dream, and try to feel like that all day, every day, as much as you can.
Yeah. Magda commented here. She said, yeah, I observe this both in me and whomever I work, that we're caught into thinking, but emotionally we're so unskillful. You know, and something that you said was, I think is really important for people to understand and hear, is that when you have a vision for yourself and you have the guts to actually go for it, it is so important to not let go, like you said, when it doesn't happen. Let's say, okay, my goal is 10K months this year. And you go through the year and you didn't hit your 10K months. And so then the next year you go like, okay, I guess I should just settle for maybe $3,000 a month. And you can feel this sort of dampening of your energy, like there's no excitement. You're like settling for
Mhm.
less because you feel like, okay, maybe I was being a little bit too outrageous, whatever.
Yeah,
And
that's the opposite of manifestation. Yeah.
right, it's like you've actually taken something that didn't happen to your liking, let's say, and you're making a story out of it. You're saying, oh, since I wasn't able to accomplish that, obviously I need to shoot, I need to aim lower. and and it's important to just be like, okay, it didn't happen this year. My goal is still, I'm just going to reset and keep going. And so it is really, it does take us, it does take unshakable belief. And like you said,
Yes.
the seeds, you just don't know when they're ready to sprout. And there's a higher power that knows exactly when you're ready. So, you know, you could be like, okay, all right, I'm gonna put Miracle Grow on all of the seeds I've planted so they can all come at once. And then suddenly that happens, you're like, oh crap, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know how to deal with all of this. And then you just fall flat on your face, right? So there is an infinite wisdom and intelligence to the universe, to God, whatever. Like, you just have to know, okay, yes, the seeds are planted. My desires are known. I'm just going to keep living my life, keep moving forward, keep taking those steps in full faith that it's going to happen, and not let time be the thing that comes in and sabotages it, right? Because we're
Mhm.
thinking linearly too often.
You put it so beautifully. I love that. One thing that helps me a lot in that concept is there was a scene in the movie The Secret. One of the teachers was showing with his hand. He was saying that when you have a goal, something that you desire, a dream you want to manifest, it's like you plant a seed, and here's the seed, and at the surface you don't see anything, but there is so much happening down there. There is so much happening down there. You don't see, like, there is so much energetic happening in. Let me finish that, and then I want to say something about another concept. I get excited about these things. So he said it is like when you don't see your goal at the time that you want it, and it takes time, and it's been too long, and you get frustrated, and the seed is growing here, but you don't see anything. When you say, well, I guess it's not for me. I guess it doesn't work. So let me set a smaller goal. It is like you go there and dig the ground, dig it up, and it's just, you don't do that when you plant a seed. You don't go dig it up and see what is
Yeah,
happening because
yeah,
you
you
believe, right?
yeah.
Yeah, you have the faith that the seed is here and doing its thing. So you're not going to dig it up. But when you doubt it, doubt. Some people think fear is the worst enemy. Some people think procrastination is the worst enemy. The worst enemy is doubt.
I would say
When
that's
you
true.
doubt that your goal is not for you and you don't have what it takes, why would you think you don't have what it takes? Why do we give so much credit to other people? We think everybody can achieve their goal, and that's not for me. It's just the timing. Give it time. Give it
Mm.
time. Don't go dig it up. Don't, when you doubt it, it's like you mess up with the whole manifestation. So yeah, absolutely, you need to give it time. And another thing that I wanted to mention just came to my mind is that they say in the spiritual practice I'm taking, they say what we see and experience in this whole life is only 1% of the truth.
Mm.
99%, we don't know what is happening energetically, spiritually. What are the forces that are helping us? What is happening under that surface? Just because you don't see your goal doesn't mean nothing is happening. A lot of things are happening. A lot
Yeah.
of things are happening.
Yes, I feel that like it gets me so excited because when I think about New Earth consciousness, when I think about the collective, like I choose to believe, and I think it's true, that we all want a world that where people are healthy, where we respect nature, where, we're eating good, clean food, the environment is clean. We know how to work through our issues. And to me, it's like that desire is a divine one. It's like, where does that come from? And I think a lot of people are holding that in their mind and their heart, even though they don't know, like, I don't know how that's going to come about. I don't know how it is that we're going to, get rid of all of the war and the pain and everything that we're seeing right now that is so loud that could grab you and drag you down if you believe that that's all there was. Because pointing to what you said, what we see happening, the wars, the fires, all the things, that's only 1% of the reality. There is so much more going on. And so if we can just choose to live in that faith that there is so much more happening behind the scenes of what we can't see, that I think just holding that vision collectively of a better world, that why come, we're really that powerful.
Mm.
We've just been told that we're not. So
Yes. And I believe that, and I agree with you that we all want a better world. We all do want a better world. We just need to work on our, I love the word faith, and also certainty and trust, and knowing, basically knowing that there are so much more happening. There's a spiritual world that we cannot see and understand with our five senses, and we don't need to. All we need is faith and
mm,
certainty and trust.
mhm.
All we need is to get rid of doubts and limiting beliefs, and really don't play small. And sometimes you said something beautiful a few minutes ago, that you want this and this and that and so many other things, and you want to manifest everything at the same time. We
Yeah.
think we are ready for our goals. We think we are ready, but we are really not. And the hardship that happens in our life, it's I posted a YouTube video yesterday starting with saying that everything that you're experiencing in your life, it's two things. One of these two things, it's either a blessing or a lesson.
Mm, mm,
So if you set a goal that is high here, if in order for you to get to that vibrational frequency, you need to go through some lessons and tests. You cannot have an amazing big goal and just, you have to, it's like taking a class, going to university, getting your degree, and that is life university. You go through lessons and hardships, then you develop resiliency, then you become a stronger person, then you become better at controlling your mind, then you become better at controlling your emotions. So don't
Yeah,
expect what you want to just fall on your lap, because you are not there vibrationally. And the universe, as soon as you desire for something, the universe is going to put you through schools and tests. So be ready and appreciate every test. I always say, if your life is not easy and you are experiencing hardship and you still have your vision up there, you're on the right path. You're
yeah,
absolutely on the right path. Embrace the challenge. And I
yeah,
always give this example of, a lot of times the laws that govern our physical body very similar to the laws that govern spirituality. For example, I always say, if you sit on your couch all day every day, you're not going to have six packs. You're not going to have muscles. You're not going to develop strong muscles. That's a fact. And so, how do we expect to have strong mental muscles if we don't put ourselves through? And what is going to the gym? What is a workout? You literally go through a hard period of time, 1 hour of sweat and working on your muscles. You literally tear your muscles in order to make them bigger and stronger. So the same rule applies to your personality. Through hardship, you become stronger and more resilient, and that's how you tap into a better version of yourself and on the same frequency as your goal.
yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. Helia, you have a free book or ebook, is that right? Or
Yes, that's an ebook. Yeah, that's a workbook. So
okay,
it is something that people can get and study and go through. It's called Manifest Wealth. It's specifically designed based on teachings of Bob Proctor for people who want to manifest more wealth. Some of the concepts we talked about today is in the workbook, and so much more for financial freedom. So wherever you are, if you want to create more wealth and abundance in terms of finances and money, you can download this book. It is absolutely free. It's a workbook, and if you spend, like, I would say, maybe half an hour somewhere quiet, put on a nice music, and really go deep into that workbook, answer the questions, you will come up with a beautiful um, roadmap and a plan for your financial success. And it also has one of the most powerful money affirmations that Bob created and taught for many, many years to millions of people. So yeah,
wow.
that's for free, and I encourage everybody
I
to.
encourage everybody to. That's a no-brainer. Definitely take Helia up on her offer, her free offer here. Um, Helia, I know we could talk on and on. I mean, you're like a library of information. And this is why you would want to hire someone like Helia, because this is where they spend all of their time and energy, right? You are so focused on this type of work. So yeah, so if you are looking to catch your blind spots and you're really looking to, hone in on your skills in manifesting the life that you want, definitely reach out to her. Helia, is there anything that you want to say in closing?
I just want to say, Tanya, first of all, thank you so, so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate you. You are such a beautiful soul, and I love your energy so much. I enjoyed this conversation, and I look forward to getting to know you better. Maybe next time I ask you questions, I would love
Yeah.
to get to know you better. Well, we did have a call, but I always love to have a conversation with you. One last thing I want to leave people with is, I really want you to please, if you have a goal, if you have a desire, if you have a dream, even if it feels so out of reach, and even if it is not what you know how to do, don't give up. Put it somewhere on a piece of paper that you can see it every day and make it your mission to manifest that and to live that dream. Because so many times there are studies that they ask people who are old and on hospital bed, and they ask them what is their regret. The biggest regret that majority of people have is they say, I wonder what would it be if I went after that thing that I was passionate about. I wonder what it would my life would be if I had a little bit more courage and I followed my dream. So don't settle. Don't think you cannot do it. We all, our essence is the same. We're all spiritual beings. Our spiritual DNA is perfect. There is perfection within each and every one of us. It's just covered by some limiting beliefs. That's it. And go after your dream, please.
Yeah. Helia, I too really love your energy. You're just so clear and calm and centered. And yeah, I am so inspired. I'm definitely inspired by this talk. And I don't see how anybody who could possibly listen to this and not be inspired. So I hope that this yeah, I hope this is well received. And please, if you're watching this, like and subscribe this channel, share it with other people. I'm really working on growing this channel, which is a space for a place where people can come to receive words of wisdom, new insights, yeah, new energy. So thank you so much, Helia, for being here. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Tanya. Thanks so much.
All right. Until next time, everybody. Bye for now.